Hi, my name is Rachel, and this is my knitting podcast. I usually go by hellorachelthefirst here on YouTube, and I have a pretty long episode for you today. I mean, we'll see because this microphone is new to me and I'm not sure how long it's gonna last, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, so finished objects. I only have one thing that's actually finished, and I have two things that are like half finished. So here's the thing I finished. It is the teeny tiny bunny pattern on Ravelry. It is like, this is my first time trying any type of amigurumi, and I like really enjoyed it. It definitely is not a quick knit like it looks like it would be, and I think the pattern is like, it creates like a beautiful product. Like every little nuance of this bunny, like the squishy face and squishy tummy and the way that the angle of the legs has been really well thought out. But there were a lot of points where it has you like knit flat two pieces and then like seam them together along both sides. That could probably just be like magic loop in the round to save you like two extra seams on the back end of it, and then just like you do the toe, I don't know, like with the legs a lot and with the ears. I'm so sorry if you hear any like extra noise down there. My cat Pan, she's kind of rumpusing. She's chasing her tail, so she might go tearing around behind me in a minute. Yeah, teeny tiny bunny. I knit this with the leftovers of the drops alpaca silk, brushed alpaca silk, I can't remember exactly, that I used to make my tulip sweater last year, which haven't been shown on here because I haven't been making videos that long. But it looks like this. And I had about 3 balls of the alpaca left over with the silk core, and I don't wear brown that much. I feel like it really doesn't suit me very well. Like I love the sweater that I made, and I definitely like it like on a seasonal basis because it's like, you know, warm and toasty and autumnal, but I don't find that to be like a super flattering color on me. So I wasn't like really interested in like making another garment with that. So I decided to use it with the white yarn, the Serdar Classic that I had originally got for my Stella quilt cushion, and then decided like it's way too bright white, I'm not gonna like that. So those two held together like made this kind of marl on the bunny, and then I just left the Serdar on its own for the parts that are supposed to be ear, like the tail and the ears. So yeah, that's my teeny tiny bunny. I do want to make some more of these. I still have plenty more of the brown Surrey alpaca, and I have like this much more of one ball and this much more of another ball of this, so I think those could each be a bunny. It took more yarn than I thought it would, so know that, but I think I could probably get 2 more white and brown bunnies out of it. And then maybe the other remnants of the other colors I would hold with the brown and make like a blue and brown bunny and like a pink and brown bunny and like a dark brown and light brown bunny and so on and so on. Okay, here is one of my half-finished objects. This is a self-drafted leg warmer that I just knit up over the course of a couple weeks. This was the project I said I was going to do before I did the Stella quilt cushion, and then inspiration struck, so I put this to the side. But I have since cast it on, knit it up, and finished and cast it on another one of these. Where is my second one? And I'm about this far. This is like self-drafted. I just decided to go with a 40 stitch circumference for my leg so that it would have like a little bit of negative ease but not too much. and it's in this twill, which is a Knit Picks yarn that's kind of like a light Aran weight, I'd say. Like it's pretty thick, and because of the like density of it, these balls don't go as far as you think they will, because each like inch of the yarn is just like packed with wool, and it's super wash, so that's great for me because I get really sweaty when I dance and I want to be able to throw these in the washing machine. So I just knitted it until I was pleased with the length. I bound off with purl stitches instead of knit stitches. Like when I knitted it all in stockinette, and then I cast on and bound off with the purl stitches because I heard that makes it roll a little bit less. It's still rolling, but I kind of like that look anyways. I was just curious if it would work, and I mean, maybe it is. I guess I haven't tried it the other way, but it's still rolling, which is fine. And then I embroidered some kind of flowers on there, just in kind of a random, just like a random scattering of them, because I really like white on white details. I also have a pair of socks I self-drafted last year that has cream on white color work, which I know a lot of people would be like, Rachel, that's nothing. Like, that, right? Like, nobody can see that. But when you look at it and you see the detail of it, I just think it looks so beautiful, like a wedding cake or something. And like so subtle too. So I am really excited about these. I already wore one of them to dance one night because I finished it like right before, and I was like really excited about it. So it hasn't been blocked, like barely had the ends woven in, had not all the flowers, but I wore it to dance just to see like what the warmth was like, how excited I should get, and I got really excited because it was really fun to wear. So those are my self-drafted leg warmers. I would imagine that would be done by the next time I podcast, but we'll see, because I had hoped for a lot of things to be done before this video, and they're just not. My last half-finished object is this yarn that I spun. I'm kicking myself because I can't remember what the Etsy dyer's name was, but it's really pretty. I spun this on my electric eel nano wheel, something like that. The one that's, affordable and electric and tiny. It took about 2 bobbins. I split the fiber down the middle and spun one way on one and one way on the other, and then plied them like that so that the color would shift towards each end throughout the yarn. So I don't know how many yards are in here. I don't know what gauge you would call this. Maybe like a DK to worsted weight with some like really skinny bits in there too. But my plan for this is to knit it into another like dance skirt. I want to find another shawl pattern, maybe one by Andrea Mowry, because she does a lot of hand spun friendly patterns, and use this as one of the colors in it. And then I also have one other braid, which I don't know when I'll get to because I don't think to spin that often, but I'm going to use this as one of the colors and just go from there and let it be whatever it is. I've spun like 2 other skeins of yarn, but this will be my first time like knitting with the yarn I've spun. I have one that's all white because I spun it with lamb's wool that was from the dance store that I wasn't going to use, and then I have one that's pink and purple because I spun it from two things of locks, which if you are a newer spinner, like don't do it like you're like, oh, this is cute, I found it at the Renaissance Festival. It was a nightmare. So this is my third one, and it's the first one that I really feel like I want to knit up. Well, because there's more of it. So anyway, that's my last half finished object. So let me tell you about some of my works in progress. Okay, here's one that I cast on since the last episode. I had hoped to be able to podcast between the last episode and this one, but life got away from me a little bit, and I was looking for like jobs for this fall as a teacher, and I had to focus on that. So a lot has gotten, started, maybe not a ton has gotten finished. This is my cumulus tee. I believe last time I spoke about wanting to turn my knitting for olive pure silk into another version of the Umbria top, because I frogged that to make my Mermaid Melody beach dress. But I was looking at the pattern and like thinking about like printing it out again, and I just couldn't. I did not really enjoy knitting that pattern last time, and I was just like thinking about doing it again, and like all of that broken rib and doing things on different sides than like made sense for my brain. Oh my gosh, sorry, my cat like loves chewing on my knitting needles. And I just didn't want to do it again. So I was like, what else do people like knit in pure silk? And one of the patterns that I hear about a lot is the cumulus tee. And I like don't know what she's doing. Yeah, sometimes she crawls like on the back by my head. I don't know. So I had not been like in love with it when I've seen the pattern before, but ow, God, her claws. Oh my God, girl. She's, ouch. But I looked at it a little more and I was like, you know what, I actually do really like the look of that. I like the shallow V of it, and I really like how like drapey and like polished it looks. So I decided to do that, and I casted it on. I did a lot of this like on my paddleboard because at first it's pretty small, going back and forth flat across the yoke before you split for the sleeves. And then I just zooped down the body, and I'm already at the bind off. This is why she's up here, is because I have like the ball hanging off, the needles hanging off. Yep. Oh gosh, pan please. And then I also have been using my US size 1s for the bind off, because I knit this, oh my gosh, slightly off gauge. I don't own 3mm needles because they're not one of the US sizes, and I'm obviously American. I mean, not obviously, like I could be Canadian, you don't know, but I don't own 3mm needles, so it's already a little bit off gauge. So to match the off gaugeness of it, I decided to go down, go down a needle size. I gotta take this off my lap or she's gonna keep attacking me. So I decided to go down a needle size for the I-cord. Yeah, so at this point I have the sleeves left, and I want to redo the neckline because I decided too late to go down a size, so I did it and it looks too big, like too chunky, and I want it to be that really nice narrow I-cord that you kind of see on the pattern photos. So I'm gonna go back, undo it, and do it in the size 1. Okay, cruising along. My next work in progress is my Stella quilt cushion. I'm like kicking myself because I had just finished this square this morning, and it would have been all nice and tidy if I hadn't started on the next one, but I did, so here she is. I decided to do it in 4 colors instead of 8 colors because I thought that like, A, I didn't want to buy all that yarn, and B, I thought I could make a really nice pattern with 4 dark colors or 4 dark diamonds, parallelograms. They're not really diamonds, they're more parallelograms. We'll see when I get it blocked. 4 dark diamonds and 4 light diamonds, and then 2 of the dark ones in a warm tone and 2 in a cool tone, and vice versa with the light ones. See, I told you she goes up here. I'm using Malabrigo Rios in the undyed version of it for the background color, because it's kind of this nice cream and pretty affordable near me. And then Serdar Country Classic for, sorry, I've had like a little bit of hiccups. I hope I'm not bumping the microphone. And Serdar Country Classic for the color parts. I don't have that many squares left, but I'm really, really looking forward to this pattern being done. If I were gonna do this again, I think I would honestly, instead of doing the like little pick up and go across and diagonally attach in short rows and picking up with short rows, I would rather just knit all the squares like diagonally across and then seam them all together, because I'm finding it very hard to match the corners on here, and I'm having to like leave extra tails to make sure that I have something to sew with to kind of fix up where the different colors join at the corners and make sure it looks nice. And if I were just gonna seam it up, like, first of all, I wouldn't have to be knitting into any like loose stitches from ones that have been picked up, and then secondly, I could just correct any of that stuff with the corners as I sew it. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for that to be done. I think it's so pretty. I know this about myself, that I don't really like picking up stitches, and this was all about picking up stitches, so that's on me. Okay, I am gonna try to pick up the next one with my feet so that I don't knock her down when my chair rocks back. Oh, good job, Rachel. This is my, you know, self-drafted like wrap. It's still, ooh, that looks so big I can almost cover the whole screen. It is still cruising along. I put this down for a little bit because I had the cumulus tee to work on, and I really wanted to finish that before summer was over. And of course, oh God, the yarn, she's attacking me. And of course I didn't accomplish that because it's the middle of September, but there you go. Okay. So also I've decided that is gonna get finished before I cast anything new on. The other projects will get finished, but this has been on the needles for years and years and years and years. So she's at risk of never getting finished, so she is getting finished next. I have like a little bit of the ball that's left, and then I have one more of these, and then it'll be done and I can use it and I don't have to think about it anymore. Yeah, so this is my last work in progress before I share kind of what my upcoming plans are for this fall. And this is my Mermaid Melody beach dress. I feel like so silly because I had really wanted this to be finished before I went on vacation, and that didn't happen, and then I wanted it to be finished before the end of summer, and that didn't happen, and it's still on the needles, but it's not my fault. And you know why? It's because I ran out of beads, and I can't find any more of the original beads that I used anywhere in the Twin Cities. So I had to order something on Etsy that I thought looked like, what is my hair doing? That looked like the best match for what I was doing. and I'm still waiting on those to come. So obviously I couldn't keep moving forward. I have a little bit of my original beads left, but I've gotten to the point where every single row takes like about half of one of these full of beads to complete. So I wanted to save the rest and mix them in with the new beads that I'm gonna get, because I want it to kind of, instead of just like old beads and then stark line new beads that may or may not match perfectly, if I mix these in with them, it'll turn into kind of a gradient. So I'm saving these, and I had to stop working on this. That being said, you know, disappointments and timing aside, I'm so excited about how this is turning out. It looks so good over like a pink swimsuit, and the fabric is amazing and drapey and cooling. The kind of rate of increase of the skirt was something I had to play around with a lot, because I had a very, very specific shape in mind for the skirt, and you have to change the rate of increases a couple times. I'm like tentatively writing this up as a pattern so that I can replicate it, but I'd have to do a lot of thinking about size grading if I want to actually release it, and I've never done that before, so I don't know. But yeah, the skirt shape is turning out absolutely perfect, and the beading is like really coming together. I've gotten to the point where it's getting to the like really heavy with, you know, drops of water section of the skirt that I have in mind for the hemline, to really give that hemline like some movement and drape and like glitter as it moves. And then I'm about to you know, join between all these little sections where the beads are increasing. It'll be like beaded every other stitch, every other row, and such and such. And then I'll add in my rose quartz beads close to the hem, and then I'll bind off. So yeah, I think there's like a couple rows left in here, but they'll be really long, so who knows how long this will take. I'm kind of bummed because I won't be able to take photos like in the lake or in the ocean with it, but maybe next summer I'll take good photos. If I decide to make this into a pattern, it would probably be next summer before it gets released anyway, so doesn't matter. Okay, I think that that's all my works in progress. Yeah, so let me talk about my kind of knitting plans as, you know, September starts, fall and winter coming. I'm obviously gonna want to have like these summer things off my needles and have some more wool back on my needles. I'm really excited about knitting with wool again. I mean, I guess my legwarmers are wool, but whatever. My first plan is to use this this white and brown yarn. It's kind of falling. This is like pretty drapey, that's cool. To use this white and brown yarn to knit, you know, kind of a warm sweater. I am not sure what sweater I want that to be, however. I have a couple ideas. I think it would be fun to knit this one Sandnesgarn pattern. I want to say it's called like Abby, but I could also be wrong about that, where it's striped with a light base color and another color for the stripes, which I would want to be the brown, and has like a deep split hem, which I really like. Last year I thought about doing the Yun sweater, E-U-N, Yun sweater, but it had that, I love the deep slit and the deep 2x2 ribbing on that, but I wasn't wild about the way that the shoulders looked like, I think it had like a very, very dramatic, like 45-degree angle, thick and chunky raglan line, and also a 2x2 folded collar, which I'm not a fan of. I don't like how folded collars like end up looking like a tube, which I know you can modify it, but I was like, I just want to see what else is out there. So I'm looking at that Abby sweater, which is probably what it's called, from Santa's Garn, and then I'm also looking at a couple other options. I would maybe like to knit a striped zipper sweater by Petite Knit. I think that could be really cute. I think this color combination looks like extremely classic and like rustic and undyed, so to have kind of a more contemporary silhouette, more contemporary like style lines on the sweater would be really pretty. I also have thought a little bit about the framed sweater by Andrea Mowry, which has those kind of quilt star motifs, and you know, kind of a fit that I'm really interested in, and I think would be really easy to style. The only problem is that you need 3 colors for that, but I could probably fudge that and like use this for the hems and stuff, I don't know. But so those are my options that I'm playing with. I only have this one of the Patton's Classic Wool Worsted. It is sold everywhere, so I'll just get more. I'm doing stripes, so if I need to switch color lots between stripes, I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, so that's my tentative plan, is do something with this. Before I do that, I am gonna finish that wrap. I'm going to. And I'm hoping I'll also finish my cumulus tee, so that would be my only garment on the needles. I only have one other solid plan for this winter, and that is that I'm gonna finish knitting the Vard sweater. I think it's by Rauma Garn, and it's this really beautiful colorwork yoke sweater with an oversized fit that I just love the look of. I think colorwork yokes can be a little hit or miss with how the sweater itself fits, and I'm very particular about fit. So I was like in love with the Varda sweater, and I had to like trawl the depths of the internet to find the pattern booklet and order that. And I was able to get it in English, but it's all just like stitch counts anyway, so it's pretty easy to knit stitch counts and charts. So I've actually already knitted both of the sleeves of it, and they're kind of on ice because it's such a wintry looking knit in my opinion that I really wanted to like enjoy the season while I was knitting it, and I didn't want to work on it in the summer. So I think that will probably be the next thing that gets worked on that's not one of these whips that I showed you, because I found it to be really, really easy to work on. It's bottom up, which I know like a lot of people like top down, but I kind of like bottom up because, especially with like a fun yoke sweater like that, you get the body and sleeves out of the way, and then you are looking forward to knitting the color work in the yoke. And because like all the versions I've seen of it have like a beautiful fit, I'm just making sure I follow the directions exactly, and I'll get that beautiful fit, and I won't have to worry about like trying it on as I go. Yeah. My other plan that's like very tentative, not like set in stone like the other two, is to make some more like little things with my scraps. I have quite a few scraps in my scrap bin to the point where it's kind of full, and I'm using this one Target bin as kind of a scrap and project bin because my Stella quilt cushion and all the different yarns it needs can sit in here pretty nicely. So I want to use this and the brown to finish more bunnies and maybe bring those into my classroom for my kids to like silent read with. And then I also have the scraps from other colors of it. Like I made a headband for a friend last winter, and I could probably make a bunny out of this, or even just like the brown marl could carry through and then the second color could change. Like you could have like a white butt or something. But as far as like scraps that I want to go together, I would kind of like to make, you guessed it, more leg warmers with my scraps from some projects last year. I have actually like a lot of yarn in here. This is my cotton that I use to darn my point shoes, so I don't want to lose track of that. But I also have like a couple mini skeins that I bought when I was thinking about turning these into the Stella. Basically the Stella has like created so much extra yarn in my life that I need to do something with. So I'm thinking of just knitting really simple striped leg warmers with some of my Croy leftovers from my pair of like Copenhagen socks, and this was from my like wrap skirt that I knitted last winter. It's like an earlier video if you want to see it. And then this was from an Oslo hat that I made for my dad, and I think like these all together, oh my gosh, Pan is being so naughty. She's like sad that I went back to work this week and she's been like really pushing buttons to like show her displeasure. And then these, like I think this could be a really cute leg warmer. I know that, I guess I don't know about knitting like intarsia very well, but I've seen a lot of dance brands coming out with color blocked leg warmers, and I think it would be super fun to try making color blocked leg warmers out of my scraps. So like some of it could be just like stripes. I want them to be like purposefully mismatched of like what yarn goes in what order, but some of it could be stripes, some of it could be like color blocked intarsia. This may be like too much work for like what I have in mind for like a scrap busting project, but who knows. So that is my other tentative plan, is to just get some of this out of my scraps pile and into a project and into a finished object that I love and use all the time. Okay, I believe that is literally everything. My floor down here is really a mess. And I probably should get going so that I can clean that up. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that a lot of my subscribers who subscribed for my bullet journal content have stayed subscribed since I started putting out knitting podcasts instead. And you know, some of you are new, and I just wanted to say thank you. Like, I've read all the comments. I always read all the comments. And it's been really cool to like be at a place with this hobby where I'm able to do that give and take, because I love watching knitting YouTube, but I always just watch it, and it's hard to connect with people so much from that perspective, because you're not showing what you're doing. So it's been really cool hearing from like commenters and hearing about, you know, what you like about like the knitting podcast and the projects. I know one of you said like you like that it's slower paced, and it definitely is slower paced. I'm not a very fast knitter, and I tend to go in bouts where like this episode, I don't finish anything for a really long time, and then I'll finish one thing and then the next thing will get finished because I have fewer things to work on, and so on and so on and so on. So I usually come with like a batch of projects. I'm just kind of rambling. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another podcast episode, hopefully sooner than this one. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.